Hello and welcome to Xbox On, in a special video looking back over a very special, if slightly unusual, 12 months. It has to be said, 2020 wasn't exactly the year we were expecting, but on the bright side, there was a whole lot to look forward to because right from the beginning of the new year, we knew a next-gen console was on its way. So we're going to run through every month from this year and reminisce on the good gaming times of the last 12 months.
Something that's going to be a constant theme throughout the video is Xbox Game Pass. There's a constant flow of amazing titles coming and going, and at the very start of the year, we were treated to one of the best and biggest games of all time. Yes, GTA 5 joined the Game Pass console library on the 3rd of January, giving us all the chance to don our sharpest suits or pull on a ski mask and enjoy a months-long crime spree across the epic campaign and the ever-growing multiplayer GTA Online. The game stuck around until May, when it made a speedy getaway and was replaced by a certain other Rockstar title, but we'll get to that soon.
February brought another wave of awesome Game Pass titles, including the debut of 3 franchises I describe as big in Japan, except they're big absolutely everywhere. First up, Yakuza 0. This prequel to the long-running crime saga jumps back to the 80s to introduce a young Kazuma Kiryu. It's the perfect jumping on point basically, and you can now follow Kazuma's entire story in Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2, currently on Game Pass. And then all the way through to the big climax in Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, with another 4 installments making their way to Game Pass in January and March 2021. We also got our first Final Fantasy game, well, first to the Game Pass library anyway. This is game number 15, the boy band road trip one. Again, this was only the beginning of the Final Fantasy titles on Game Pass, and since February we also gained 9, 7 and 8 in that order. I'd question the maths, but this is a series that has released 15 games with Final in the title, so really all that matters is they're all great. And for anyone who likes their JRPGs with added Disney characters, Kingdom Hearts 3 also joined the service, and it's been followed up with Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5 Remix, a remaster of the first 6 games in the series. February, a terrible month for mathematicians, a fantastic month for Game Pass.
In March, we got 2 of the year's very finest games, and they couldn't have been much more different. On the 10th, Call of Duty Warzone broke cover, revealing itself as the free-to-play battle royale we never knew we wanted from COD, but haven't been able to stop playing ever since. By now, tens of millions of players have dropped into Verdansk, been through the gulag, and probably got mullered by Benny with a Grau 556. And just one day later, it was followed by Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This sequel took one of the most spectacular, challenging and heartstring-tugging games of recent years, and one update on every count. It's a stunningly pretty miracle of Metroidvania, and if you haven't bashed your way through the forest of Nirwan yet, well, it launched on Game Pass day and date, so what are you waiting for? The other big release into Xbox Game Pass this month was Bleeding Edge, the team-based tactical brawler that sees a colourful collection of characters duke it out to be the best of the best, using all manner of weapons and abilities. So I think it's fair to say that March was definitely a busy month.
By April, most of us weren't going outside quite as much, but that didn't mean we couldn't go to gigs, thanks to Travis Scott's huge Fortnite event, which featured an incredible light show, the reveal of a brand new track, and a skyscraping Scott performing the whole thing in the skies above Fortnite's island. Pretty cool. No wonder 28 million players joined the game to experience it live. April also blessed us with yet another Xbox Game Studio banger in the form of Gears Tactics, taking the moment-to-moment thrills of a Gears game and applying them to a turn-based strategy game, where you're leading a whole squad as they curb stomp their way through a locust army bigger than any you've seen before. The game launched on PC on the 28th of April, but now you can play it on console too, and even jump between the two with Xbox Play Anywhere. And of course, however you choose to play, it's right there on Xbox Game Pass.
And Gears wasn't the only beloved Xbox franchise to try out a brand new genre. Minecraft Dungeons rocked up on the 26th of May, showing us this iconic blocky world from a whole new perspective and moved the focus from building to bashing mobs with your latest shiny weapon. The game's been going strong ever since, with 3 DLC packs, the introduction of crossplay so you can team up with friends on any platform, and a mobile version that lets you play from the cloud using on-screen touch controls. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So let's stick to May for now. As we mentioned earlier, this was the month that GTA 5 made its exit from Game Pass, but not to worry because another Rockstar game arrived to fill its very large boots. Cowboy boots, as it turned out, because it was Red Dead Redemption 2. This outlaw wandered into Game Pass town and treated us to 4 months of Old West adventure, whether you were playing the campaign or teaming up with your posse for some online play. May was also the month we got our first glimpse of Xbox Series X gameplay with a special Inside Xbox broadcast showing off 13 next-gen titles from Assassin's Creed Valhalla through to Yakuza Like a Dragon. And the game announcements were just beginning.
Normally in June, we'd be getting on a plane and heading out to E3, but that wasn't an option this year. On the bright side though, it meant we didn't have to leave our homes to bathe in the latest announcements, and they arrived by the truckload all month long. The end of a globe-trotting trilogy of assassination in Hitman 3, the latest first-person spooks and scares in Resident Evil Village, the time-traveling marsupials of Crash Bandicoot 4, the very enigmatic Pragmata, and of course the beautifully fine-tuned space dogfights of Star Wars Squadrons. Who needs a plane journey when you can pilot your own X-Wing?
And the big announcements just kept coming, with the Xbox Game Showcase on the 23rd of July. Ooh, boy, where to start with this one? We've got 10 full minutes of Halo Infinite gameplay, giving us a first glimpse of the shooter we're all waiting for. We got slightly more info on what Everwild, Rare's mysterious new game is. Control Dev Remedy showed off their campaign for Crossfire X. State of Decay 3 was announced with a very stylish and very gory cinematic trailer. There was the reveal of a new Forza Motorsport with some exceedingly shiny next-gen cars. A new Fable finally granting years of wishes from Xbox RPG fans. And speaking of RPGs, the showcase also unveiled Avowed, a brand new fantasy game from Obsidian. That's Obsidian, by the way, the studio behind Outer Worlds, Fallout New Vegas, and Grounded, which, now I mention it, also launched in game preview at the end of July. Man, what a month.
So with a ton of games showing off, the only real question left for Xbox Series X was when? When can we get our grubby little mitts on one? We've got our next clue in August with the announcement that the console would be launching sometime in November. Intriguing. August was also the month that Microsoft Flight Simulator took to the skies. Even a few months on, it's hard to believe this game is real. If game is even the right word here. It's a stunning recreation of the whole world, ready for you to fly over, peering out the window like, is that my house? Or, better not crash into the pyramids. If you've ever dreamt of flying, well, this is a dream come true, and it's been right there on Game Pass from day one. And it's coming to Xbox Series X and S next year. Did I say S? Oops. August didn't know about that one just yet.
Okay, the cat's out of the bag now, so it's a good thing we're in September, when Xbox announced that we weren't just getting one next-gen console this year, we were getting 2. Of course, if we'd just paid attention to Phil Spencer's bookshelves, we'd have known that already. Yep, it was the big reveal of the Xbox Series S, an entry-level console with all the next-gen features of Xbox Series X, but a little less graphical oomph for those of us who don't have massive 4K tellies. The S is the smallest Xbox ever made, with a price tag to match. Finding out it cost under £250 was probably the biggest gaming surprise of the year. Well, it was either that or the other big announcement in September, as Microsoft plonked down considerably more than 250 quid to buy ZeniMax Media, which is a name that might not have meant much to you before this news broke, but here's one you'll definitely be familiar with. Bethesda Softworks. Yes, the makers of Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, Wolfenstein, Dishonored, Quake, and on and on and on, officially joining Xbox Game Studios. You love to see it. And that's still not the end of the treat September had in store, with the launch of cloud gaming on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, giving you access to over 150 titles on your Android devices at no extra cost. And yes, as we mentioned, in the case of Minecraft Dungeons, even using the phone itself as a controller. Nice.
October was all about gearing up for next gen, with some big game releases landing ahead of the new consoles. We already mentioned the announcements of Star Wars Squadrons, but just a few months later it blasted out of hyperspace and onto our consoles. It's been such a smash that the game got an unexpected post-launch boost with free content updates adding a new map, ship parts and 2 whole fighters for you to blast around in, including the beautifully ungainly B-Wing bomber. Watch Dogs Legion brought Ubisoft's trademark open world adventuring to a near future London, where everything's gone a bit Pete Tong. A bit, what's the Cockney rhyming slang for dystopian? Luckily, you've got the whole capital city on your side, as long as you can convince them to join the cause. Perfect for assembling your own dream team of Shoreditch hipster hackers, drone enthusiasts, and a badass granny still packing a submachine gun from her MI5 days. But if your dream team is 11 strong and consists of Messi, Ronaldo, and Mbappe, well, then you've probably got a couple of months of foot under your belt already, since FIFA 21 arrived on the 8th of October. All 3 of these games have since been given the optimized for Series X and S treatment, meaning there are specially created versions that will let you tap into the power of the new consoles. And in the case of FIFA, the good news is that all that FUT progress carries right over, so you can bring all your favorite players over to the next gen.
When it comes to November, it's all about one day in particular, the 10th, aka Xbox Series X and S launch day. We were there right as the clock struck midnight with a 6-hour stream counting down and introducing some of the new games and features, which we should talk about probably. Frame rates that go all the way up to 120 FPS for an unprecedentedly smooth, responsive experience, DirectX ray tracing for incredible lighting, shadows and reflections, and of course the incredibly quick loading and quick resume title hopping made possible by the SSD and Xbox Velocity architecture. And the games. Xbox Series X and S launched with 30 optimized titles under their belt, some of which we've already talked about, but we've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Dirt 5, Ori, Grounded, and a pile of other great Xbox Game Studios titles making the leap into next gen. But even if you haven't got your hands on a new console yet, there was still plenty to be excited about on the 10th, because it was also the day that EA Play joined Game Pass, giving Ultimate subscribers a whole second library of awesome EA games, from Star Wars to The Sims.
Which brings us to the final month of the year, and things certainly haven't slowed down for Christmas. December kicked off with another enormous Fortnite event, as a special guest star even bigger than Travis Scott rolled up to the island, with the intent of stuffing the whole thing inside his mouth. Over 15 million concurrent players turned up to help see Galactus off by feeding him battle bus bombs, and his defeat opened up a whole new era of Fortnite, which no doubt will keep us talking throughout 2021 too. And that was just the start. One of the most anticipated games of the year finally arrived in the form of Cyberpunk 2077, in all its neon-soaked glory. And just a day later, at the Game Awards, Among Us was announced as coming to Xbox Game Pass for PC, along with the Bethesda behemoth that is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Plus, 4 more of the Yakuza games are on their way to Xbox in January and March 2021. We also got the first glimpse of a game that's already one of our most anticipated for the future, a reimagining of Perfect Dark, from quadruple A supergroup The Initiative. And speaking of the future, cloud gaming will be coming to iOS and PC in 2021, opening up the options for on-the-go gaming with Xbox even more.
So as we step into 2021, we've got a lot to look forward to. Who knows what next year's roundup will look like, and we just can't wait to find out. But you don't need to wait till next December, just make sure you subscribe to the channel right here and check us out on Twitch for daily streams every afternoon UK time. And hey, you've made it through an entire year with us, so give us a cheeky like, eh? Thanks so much for watching, bye!